All right, now let's get into some more chord types. Two very commonly used chord types in rock music are known as the suspended fourth chord and the suspended second. We did touch on those kind of chords a little bit earlier in this DVD, but I'm going to give you a full explanation now. If we start with our open position E major chord, the way you sound a suspended fourth chord is the fourth scale degree is going to take the place of the major third. So in the key of E, the major third is G sharp. If we start from E, our root note, and ascend in an E major scale, we have E, F sharp, G sharp, that's the major third, A is the fourth, B is the fifth. So when you normally play an E major chord, you've got the notes E and G sharp, the root and the major third. We're going to replace that major third with the fourth. In the key of E, that would be A. So instead of the chord sounding like this, a regular major chord, we get this. If you go back and forth, you can hear the difference. All right, now let's do the same thing with an A chord. So this would be a fifth string root chord. We start with our A open position major chord again. And in this case, C sharp is the major third of A. Here's A, root note, B is the major second, C sharp is the third. We're going to replace that third with the fourth. In the key of A, that would be D. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is an A major chord. To sound A sus4, we replace that C sharp with D. Go back and forth, A major, A sus4. All right, and lastly, let's move to the top four strings. With a fourth string root note, we have a D major open position chord. That top note, that's the major third of D. If you play a D major scale ascending, D, E, F sharp, root, major second, major third. We're going to replace that major third with the fourth. In the key of D, that would be a G note. D, E, F sharp, G. So this is D major, D sus4. One, two, three, four. All right, here's another example, and this falls anywhere between classic rock and modern rock because of the chord progression and the guitar sound that I'm using. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now let's go over another type of suspended chords. These are called sus2, suspended second chords. If we start with that A major open position chord, just how we had changed the major third to the fourth to get a sus4, suspended fourth chord, we're going to substitute, instead of playing a major third, we're going to play a major second. And that's where the name suspended second comes from. So instead of playing the notes A and C sharp at the top of the chord, we're going to play the notes A and B, because B is the major second of A. If you're playing your A major scale ascending, you have root, major second, major third, fourth, fifth, root, major second. That's a B note. So that's where we get our suspended second. You replace the major third with the major second. So instead of playing this, we're going to play this. And that's a suspended second. Now we can do the same thing with our D major chord. The F sharp is a major third. Go up the D major scale, root, major second, major third. So that major second is an E note. So instead of playing F sharp on top, we put a E on top. For both A and D, it's very handy because you can use open strings for those tones. Now if we move over to an E major chord, the 6th string root version, because with A that was a 5th string root, and with D that was a 4th string root. E, 6th string root. You play an E major chord, and you go up the E major scale, E, root, F sharp's the major second, G sharp's the major third. We know that we need to substitute that major third for a major second. But in this case, there's no F sharp note that's an open string, and we don't want the sound of that G sharp ringing also. So you have to use a different kind of a fingering. If this is E major here, to play E sus2, I'm going to play it like this. And the way I do that, index finger on the 2nd fret of the A string for the B, pinky on the 4th fret of the D for the F sharp, and then the bottom of the pinky is muting the G string, and then I have the top 2 strings ringing. That's an E sus2. All right, here's some musical examples that utilize these chords. All right, you hear these type of sus2 chords all over the music of 80s new wave. And you still hear it today, of course. So this next example is going to bring to mind the sounds of everything from the Police and the Pretenders to the Beatles. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now I'm going to play that same thing again, but this time I'm going to play it with more of a driving rock 4/4 kind of a feel. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, what I'd like to do now is we're going to take the concept, this is conceptual now, so get ready. The concept of switching between major chords and the 2 different types of suspended chords, major, sus2, and sus4, and we're actually going to turn that into a lick, a repeated lick that's going to be played over a chord progression. So the chords will change under the lick as the lick is repeated. And this is a kind of a classic rock kind of thing. You'll see what I'm talking about. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's go back to our open position cowboy chords once again to talk about how to get sus2 and sus4 chords from our C chord and our F chord. With the C chord, you drop your pinky down on the 3rd fret of the D string to get the sus4, because that major third E is raised to F. F's the 4th of C. If you want a sus2 for C, that major third E goes down to D. So again, we're able to use our open strings to give us those suspended second sounds. So C sus2, C major, C sus4. Now we can do the same thing with F, exactly the same thing. Play an F like this. To get sus4, you bring that pinky down on the 3rd fret. A goes up to B flat, the 4th of F. And to get sus2, that A goes down to the open G. Jimi Hendrix used these chords all the time. They really come from sort of country piano techniques. And they're time-honored country techniques to use on the guitar as well. Here's an example. 1, 2, 3, 4.